Hi, and welcome to the Day Trading for Beginners podcast. I'm Tyler Stokes from StokesTrades.com, and this is episode 14. And in this episode, we're going to talk about how to choose a broker for day trading. And at the end of the episode, I am going to reveal the broker that I am going to use in this journey of becoming a full-time day trader. Now, if you've not downloaded the 6-month blueprint, which outlines all the steps I'm currently taking to become a full-time day trader, you can find that in the show notes, or you can go to StokesTrades.com/blueprint. And when you download that, you can join our free community on School where we can interact, we can stay accountable, and there's nothing for sale. There's no courses for sale. There's no mentorships for sale. It's just a place where if you're a beginner, you can connect with me and other beginners, and we can keep each other accountable going through this journey. So certainly check out that resource, the blueprint. Okay, so in this episode, we're going to talk about how to choose a broker. And again, I'm going to just reveal the broker that I am going with. So this is certainly not going to be a long podcast. We want to just get right into it. Now, choosing a broker is sort of like your very first action step. So if you sort of came to this journey of becoming a day trader, maybe you have a lot of experience in the market and you sort of didn't need to do what we did in that first phase where we reviewed stocks, bonds, ETFs, the futures market, the Forex market, and options. Maybe you have experience in that, and your first actual step is going to be, choosing a broker. So that's the step we're currently on. It's sort of like the first action step that we are going to take. Now, when I personally, think of this, my mind sort of goes off and I start thinking about the other things that I might need. Like, what software do I need to combine with my brokerage account? What tracking software do I need? What charting software? What journal? Don't let your mind go there. The first step that you really need to take is just to focus on choosing a broker, and then you can worry about connecting all those other things later on. And you certainly don't need those when you're just getting started. So here we're just going to focus on choosing a broker. And we certainly don't want to get overwhelmed with thinking about, our desktop setup, what computer we need, and all that kind of stuff. Let's just focus on choosing a broker. And when I say broker, basically interchangeable with brokerage firm or day trading platform. So you're not going to really connect with an individual like your broker. You're going to use a company, an online brokerage firm, and they're going to have like a platform that you will set up on your computer to help you, trade and trade within the markets. Now, that brokerage firm, what they essentially do is they're acting sort of like the middleman between you and the stock market and other markets as well. So we're helping you kind of make your transactions. And then in return, they'll get fees and commissions. So in helping you make your transactions, basically, your brokerage account, it's how you're going to access the market. So these accounts became really popular in sort of the late 90s, early 2000s, when the internet made it possible to trade stocks from the comfort of your own home. So your account with your brokerage firm is going to allow you to make transactions in the market. So when this happened, it was sort of like a financial revolution where people, suddenly realized they didn't need to rely on a financial firm to buy stocks. They could do it themselves. And this rise of online brokerages really made it easy for anyone with a computer and an internet connection to enter the stock market. So if you've never bought a stock before, if you don't have one of these accounts, don't be intimidated by them. Signing up for them is relatively easy. You'll have to obviously fill in some online forms, but it's essentially transferring money from your bank account to your brokerage firm, and then you can buy stocks sort of instantly. And again, we're going to focus on paper trading for the good beginning part of this journey. So we won't even need to necessarily transfer funds to the account unless your account requires like a minimum deposit. So there are some things to consider when you are looking for a broker. And the first thing that I would recommend that I found out through research is that you really want to go with someone or some company that will allow you to open up a paper trading account and that will have a real-time data so you can practice without financial risk. So a big part of this journey that I'm going on is we're doing it properly. We're not going to risk any real money until we have a strategy. Then we're confident, and we've sort of been successful for like 3 months on a paper account, meaning we've been profitable for 3 months straight. I'm in no rush to trade real money. And that's sort of the mindset that we have going into this journey. So again, paper trading is going to be important. I will need a broker that allows me to paper trade with real-time data. And I would recommend that to you as well. I would recommend, based on the research that I've done, avoid any mobile only brokers. So, brokers like Robinhood, where you can, just trade on your phone. You certainly will not want to do that for serious day trading. You will need a desktop platform that allows you to do trading on your desktop, because you'll need to look at charts and so on. So you just can't do this from your phone. You want to research some features that might be key for you. So depending on what kind of market you might want to go into, you will want to choose a broker that allows you to, trade options, trade futures, and that sort of thing, if those are the markets that you are interested in going after. And then, to wrap this up, choosing a broker, take some time doing this, because once you sort of choose one, you get familiar. If you end up depositing money and you start trading, it's probably going to be a headache to switch. So just take your time and focus on the key features that are important for you, and especially that feature of paper trading. And then lastly, you will want to consider the fees. When you're trading, you might do a lot of trades every month. And at the end of the month, if you sort of break even, especially when you're just starting out, but one company charges you like $1 per trade, where the other one's like $5 per trade, you can see that your fees can add up. So focusing on fees will be important as well. Now, on the article that is accompanying this podcast, you can find that in the show notes. I do have a list of, popular day trading, platforms or brokerages. You can find links to all their websites. I'll just sort of go over them here, and then we'll just get into the reasons why I chose the brokerage firm that I'm going with. So you may have heard of Interactive Brokers. That is a very popular one. There is Think or Swim from TD Ameritrade. That's another popular one. Then you've got TradeStation, Fidelity, E-Trade, and Webull. And then if you're in Canada, you've probably heard of Questrade and Wealth Simple. So personally, what I'm going with for this journey is going to be Interactive Broker. So moving forward, all the video demonstrations and the tutorials with using this platform and this dashboard are going to be with Interactive Brokers. And, in the future, we're going to have courses on, setting up this dashboard, buying and selling on the paper account with this broker. So that is the brokerage firm that I am going to go with. And again, if you download that 6-month blueprint, you'll be getting updates on all the tutorials and the lessons that I put forward as I'm interacting and learning that dashboard. So the reason I chose them is just after a bunch of research, they just stood out as really the top recommendation, especially for Canadians. So again, I'm in Canada, and I currently have a Questrade account. However, I sort of don't want to mix my day trading with my long-term investing. And there doesn't seem to be any serious day traders that use Questrade. And the fees associated with Questrade and Wealthsimple seem to be much higher than Interactive Brokers. Everywhere I looked, Interactive Brokers seem to have the best fees. And again, if you live in Europe, I've seen a lot of posts on Reddit where people in Europe like Interactive Brokers as well. It seems to be a top recommendation for that location. Now, if you're in the US, Interactive Brokers, again, is a top recommendation, but Think or Swim from TD Ameritrade seems to be highly recommended as well, especially in the real day trading group on Reddit, which we are sort of following along with. So you might want to consider Think or Swim with TD Ameritrade. I know that they also have a really good paper account. And then the other options that we sort of went there, or you can find in the article in the show notes, some of them might work out for you for various reasons. And you might want to dive deeper into all the fees. If you're someone who really wants to look at that and compare them, someone out there has probably compared all of these and put together a spreadsheet. Personally, I've found through my research that Interactive Brokers has really good fees. It's good for Canadians, and it's good for serious day traders. It allows you to trade futures, allows you to trade options, and it has a paper trading account that I will be setting up with. Now, you will notice that if you do some research, the format for Interactive Brokers, so their trading platform, tends to be described as a little bit outdated and a little bit difficult to learn. I'm not too worried about that. There are many, many tutorials on YouTube about Interactive Brokers, which is another plus. So I'm sure it's going to take a while, but I will get the handle of it. But that is one flaw with Interactive Brokers. Their dashboard and their desktop platform is a little bit clunky and a little bit hard to navigate, but I'm not worried about that. And again, I'm going to put forward all sorts of tutorials on setting this up and doing some paper trading with that brokerage firm. So that's it. That's really it for this episode. I hope some of those considerations are useful for you. And, we're going with Interactive Brokers moving forward with this podcast and this journey. I would, based on my research, recommend them to you as well. But obviously, do your own research based on your location and some of the features that you might need. But that is what we are going with. So thanks so much for listening. In the next video podcast, which you can find on YouTube, we're going to run through me signing up for the application with Interactive Brokers. I'm going to download it to my computer, and then I'm going to get really familiar with it, and I'm going to create tutorials on everything that I am doing with it and everything you'll need to know about buying stocks, selling options, buying options, and all that kind of stuff. So certainly subscribe to the podcast and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I do believe some useful videos will be on YouTube about using Interactive Brokers. And really, if you download that 6-month blueprint, our community on School is going to have a free classroom section where all these lessons will be stored. So everything that we talk about on this podcast will have video lessons on our platform on School, which you can learn more about below as well. So thanks again for listening. I hope you found this useful, and we will talk to you in the next episode.